address a couple of comments and things from my last video, which has gone as viral as any video has gone for me. So thank you for that. Please, thank you for all the people who subscribed, for all the people who shared. I really appreciate that. If you look at a couple of my other videos in terms of what I'm going through, I'm really doing this hoping to not only market my own business when it launches in a couple of months, but to help people and to help people overcome really hard things, and to just kind of push a very minimalistic, focused ideal on people and their lives. And hearing all of the feedback that I've gotten and people telling me that I've encouraged them to take action in their own lives for a myriad of things, thank you. That really, really inspires and helps me going through a really difficult situation. So, trying to get this channel up and running as something to both, try and give me a little bit of finance that is very much so needed at the moment, or, helping me potentially market and grow my business. I can't thank you guys enough. So, into the comments. First thing is, no, I do not have cancer. That's kind of funny. I appreciate the humor, but I actually just went in for my yearly physical about halfway into the transformation when I was about 25 pounds down. And everything came back negative. There are no cancers, no anythings. The only bad thing in my blood work was high cholesterol, which, again, when you're fat and you're overweight, there's only so much you can do. I'm losing the weight, but also high blood pressure. But yes, no cancers, no anythings of that nature. I can tell you that, your health is not better from being overweight, nor does fixing it fix things overnight. But, you can't say, oh, well, I'm already fat, so it's as bad as it's going to get. No, it accumulates over time, and getting healthy is one of those things that you can't really do anything else in life. There's two things that I would tell people if you're trying to make improvements in your life. The first would be your health and your weight. The second would just be how messy your life is. How many things do you deal with that you don't really need to? How many things are there that are only there because you haven't cleaned up your life? There's just mess, there's clutter in your life, things aren't clean. When you have a cluttered space, your mind becomes cluttered. So, those are really the two things that, if you can't get those two things down, success is difficult from there, because, one, if you're cluttered, you're always kind of wonky a little bit. I'm not saying you can't be smart, and I'm not saying you can't compensate, but you're not to your potential. The second thing is your weight. I know plenty of people who work hard and they make a lot of life choices, and it's they do really well for 20 or 30 years. And then when they hit about 50 or 60, they die. And that's reality. And it's well, when I think about my own business and my own goals and my own life projection as I want to see it, the idea of working so hard at something that I hate, the only way to get through life from working so hard is to smoke and drink and eat fatty foods and always be on the go. You're not really enjoying the journey. You're trying to get to, I'm successful, and that builds in your mind. But then, you become less productive because, as your body starts failing, your focus starts failing, all of these little things start failing, then you're not up to your potential, and you're also not enjoying your life. I love what I'm doing. I feel like my life is simple enough, and simple doesn't mean easy. Actually, simple is the opposite of easy. Simple takes a lot of work. But my life is simple enough that I don't need a lot of things in it. I own my house outright. I don't have payments really other than basic utilities. And I'm, trying to move to take care of those. So, I'm able to take chances. I'm able to take, just freedoms in my life and chances. And I love helping people. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to work for free, but if there was the lifestyle that I had and I was just helping people and there wasn't a financial component, yeah, I love what I do. I like taking people who are struggling or who work a job that they hate and they want this startup, and I'm like, okay, I will market your startup. And then it's successful, and then you start hearing like, hey, my kids are in private school now, and I was able to quit my job, and thank you notes from people who have improved their lives. Like that to me, there is a person on the other end of that who was unhappy with their life, and I've given them the freedom to have the freedom that I have. It means the world to me. Hearing people say that they're, improving their life, or they're so overweight and miserable from it that they lost half of the weight that they wanted to lose last year, but now they think they can get the rest of it down in 2 months, and they're going to do that. And somebody else saying like, yeah, I'm going to do a fasting diet, and I'm going to get where I want to get to. And it's like, that's awesome. People saying they want to quit smoking, that's awesome. But then you have people who will tell you like, hey, I would do that, but here's the but. I can't quit drinking. Okay. There's always going to be a zero-sum game in your life, right? Like, you can't have things both ways. Like, alcohol is going to destroy your health. Like, that's 100% true. I'm not saying this as someone who's never drank before. I have given up drinking. And it's not because I was an alcoholic. It's not because of anything, like, grand or negative that's happening in my life. It's empty calories. It is one of the most unhealthy things that you can do. Once you put alcohol into your system, your entire system that was, dealing with your metabolism is now solely focused on metabolizing that alcohol until it is done, which means everything else is just turning into fat. Because you now have put a poison, toxic thing into your body. There was a thing that was really detrimental that was put out into circulation. It was a study that found that 1 to 2 glasses of wine a day makes your heart healthier. This is one of the most bullshit things that has ever come about. So the study that they did, they would ask people how much they drank a week. And the only people that they could find that said 0, because everybody drinks, right? Like, there's very hard to find somebody who actually has never drank before. Like, they're very few and far between. So what they found is the people who would actually mark 0 are the recovering alcoholics, people who would binge drink their entire life. So you look at their heart, and it's all sorts of messed up from just abuse of years of over drinking, years of over consuming. So now that they don't drink at all, they're better than they would have been if they kept drinking, but they're nowhere near as good as somebody who doesn't drink, or maybe somebody who has a very moderate drinking habit of 1 glass of wine a day. What you're comparing the 1 glass of wine to is not someone who's never drank before. What you were comparing the 1 glass of wine to is somebody who was an alcoholic who overdrank their entire life. So you've got liver damage, you've got heart damage, you've got one of the other things that it really messes with is your hormones. So when you have specifically beer with hops, it kills testosterone. Like, you talk about the soy boys, but one of the worst things you can do to your metabolism is beer. So, somebody in the comments was commenting about how, well, they've turned to non-alcoholic beer and it's filled that void in their life. And it's like, okay, well, the alcohol is not good for you, and kudos to you. But I'm telling you right now, a lot of, especially for men, one of the really negative things you can do is drink beer, even non-alcoholic beer, because it still has hops in it, I believe. I mean, again, I'm not here to tell you about every single non-alcoholic beer in production and you found one that doesn't have hops in it and here. Okay, fine. But 99.9% of a beer that exists, alcoholic or not, has hops in it. And hops kills testosterone. It produces estrogen in your system. That's why you get a beer gut. It's known as the beer gut. For that reason, you probably just didn't know why. So, yeah, if you have something in your life that is stopping you from being where you want to be, get rid of that thing. Get rid of whatever that thing is. You're like, that's freedom. Get rid of whatever that obstacle is. And it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be cigarettes. It could be a toxic relationship. It could be toxic friends. It could just be a reevaluation of where you are in life. So if that's a midlife crisis, if that's the something you want to kid me about and say, you're trying to make improvements in your life and you're trying to just better yourself, and that's funny to you, then have at. Like, yes, I was imperfect. Yes, I made bad decisions. Yes, I got to where I was by doing those things, and I'm trying to be accountable, and I'm trying to help everyone else out there be accountable. It's not a good for you. It's not a, oh, you're so lucky, or the thing is anybody who says that is doing so from a place of jealousy. They could do it. There's an obese person out there who, would love to have lost 40 pounds in 40 days or whatever. But they're not, because they're not going through the actions, because they haven't had that part of their mind yet that just says, this isn't who I am. This isn't what I do anymore. This isn't exactly what has to happen, and I'm going to do that. And whatever cost or price there is to pay for that, that's exactly what I'm going to do.